Hello class, today we are going to do chapter 8, Personal Finance. 8.1 covers percent, sales tax, and discounts. Our objectives today are to express a fraction as a percent, express a decimal as a percent, express a percent as a decimal, solve applied problems involving sales tax and discounts, determine percent increase or percent decrease, and investigate some of the ways percent can be abused. Let's look at the basics of percents. Percents are the result of expressing numbers as a part of 100. The word percent means per 100. Expressing a fraction as a percent. Number 1, we want to divide the numerator by the denominator. Number 2, we want to multiply the quotient received by 100. This is done by moving the decimal point in the quotient 2 places to the right. And then all we're going to do is add the percent sign for number 3. So let's do this. Let's express a fraction as a percent. We're going to express 5 over 8 as a percent. So step 1, we divide the numerator by the denominator. 5 divided by 8 is 0.625. Step 2, we're going to multiply the quotient by 100. 0.625 times 100 is 62.5. Also, what you could do if you didn't want to multiply by 100, you could just move this decimal 2 places to the right, and that would also give you 62.5. Now we're going to add the percent sign. Percent sign's right there, 62.5%. Thus, 5/8 is the same as 62.5%. To express a decimal as a percent, all we have to do is move the decimal point 2 places to the right and attach a percent sign. Simple enough. We want to express 0.47 as a percent. We're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Thus, 0.47 is the same as 48%. Now we want to express a percent as a decimal number. To express a percent as a decimal number, we're essentially working backwards from what we just did. We want to move the decimal places 2 places to the left and then remove the percent sign. So let's express each percent as a decimal. 19% as a decimal. I just want to move the decimal to the left 2 places and then get rid of the percent sign. So 19% as a decimal is 0.19. 180%. Going to move the decimal to the left 2 places, remove the percent sign. I'm looking at 1.80 or 1.8. So 180% is the same thing as 1.8. Now, let's look at percent, sales tax, and discounts. Many applications involving percent are based on the following formula. A is P percent of B. Note that of implies multiplication. So we see that's basically the same thing as A equals P times B. We use the formula to determine sales tax collected by states, counties, cities on sales items to customers. Sales tax amount equals the tax rate times an item's cost. Suppose that the local sales tax rate is 7.5% and you purchase a bicycle for $894. How much tax is paid and what is the bicycle's total cost? How do we solve this? Well, let's solve for the sales tax amount. That way we can determine how much tax is paid. Now we know the sales tax amount is the tax rate times the item's cost. The tax rate here is 7.5%, so we need to multiply that by 894. Now the thing is, you don't multiply percentages. We need to convert that percent into a decimal. So we need to convert 7.5% into a decimal, so we need to move our decimal place 2 places to the left. So 7.5% converts into 0.075. I will multiply that times 894 and I get $67.05. So the tax that we pay on this bicycle is $67.05. So if the bicycle cost $894 and then we have to pay $67.05 in sales tax, the total cost for this bicycle is going to be $894 plus $67.05 for a total cost after tax of $961.05. That is the bicycle's total cost because you have to add the tax. Don't we hate it? Percent and sales price. Now, businesses do reduce prices sometimes, and we call that a discount to attract customers and to reduce inventory. The discount rate is a percent of the original price. So the discount amount equals the discount rate times the original price. So let's look at this example. A gaming laptop with an original price of $1,460 is on sale at 15% off. We want to determine what is the discounted amount. So we want to determine how much money are they taking off of this sale price, of this original price. And then we want to know what the laptop sale price actually is after the discount. So let's look at the discounted amount to start with. The discounted amount equals the discount rate times the original price. Now the discount rate here is 15%. But just like the previous problem, I can't multiply by a percent. I have to convert that to a decimal. I'll move my decimal 2 places to the left. So I need to multiply 1,460 times 0.15, that 15% written as a decimal. If I do that, I get $219. So they are discounting this laptop $219. That is 15% of the original price. Now, if I look at part B, which asks what is the laptop sale price, I'll take that discounted amount away from the original price, and that'll give me the sales price. So the sales price is $1,460, and I take off the $219, which was the discount, and that leaves me with $1,241. Therefore, its sales price is $1,241 because I was able to take off this $219 discount, which was 15% off of the laptop's original price. Now, if a quantity changes, its percent increase or its percent decrease can be found as follows. We want to find the fraction for the percent increase or decrease. The amount of increase over the original amount or the amount of decrease over the original amount. So number 2 says find the laptop's increase or decrease by expressing the fraction in step 1 as a percent. Okay, so we look at the amount of increase over the original amount and we look at the amount of decrease over the original amount. That tells us the increase or decrease as a percent as long as we move it from a fraction to a percent. So in example 6, we are going to find the percent increase and decrease. In 2000, world population was approximately 6 billion. The data are from the United Nations Family Planning Program and are based on optimistic or pessimistic expectations for successful control of human population growth. Now, A says find the percent increase in world population from 2000 to 2150 using the high projection data. Okay, and then B wants us to look the other direction. It says find the percent decrease in world population from 2000 to 2150 using the low projection data. Okay, so here's what we need to do. We need to use the data shown in blue, the high projection graph, and we need to look at the percent increase, which is the amount of increase over the original amount. Okay, so here's what we've got. The original amount starting here in 2000 is 6 billion. This is where all of them start. All the colors and all the projections start here at 6 billion. That is the number that's going to be on the bottom because that is the original amount right here. Okay. Now, the amount of increase goes on top. To find the amount of increase here, we need to take our new amount and subtract our original amount. So we need to take 30 billion and subtract 6 billion. So that's what we do here. We do 30 minus 6, and we see that we have a change of 24 billion. Now, 24 divided by 6 is 4. To put that in terms of a percent, I need to move the decimal place 2 places left. And I get that's an increase here of 400%. So the projected percent increase in the world population is 400%. It's going to go up 4 times as much with the high projection graph. Now we're going to use the data shown on the green, the low projection graph. Now This is going to indicate a percent decrease, the amount of decrease over the original amount. The original amount here, like we said before, is 6 billion. But our green graph here shows that we're going to have a decrease with this low projection. So the actual amount of human population is going to go down. So we need to take here our 4, and what we need to look at is the amount of decrease that is from our original amount, 6. So we'll do 6 minus 4, that's 2. 2 divided by 6 reduces to 1/3, which reduces to 33.33%. So the projected percent decrease in world population is 33.33%. And if you wanted to approximate it as a decimal, you could say 33.3%. Now, let's look at abuses of percent. So, example 8, percents of percents. John Tesh, while he was still anchoring, or co-anchoring, Entertainment Tonight, reported that PBS series The Civil War had an audience of 13% versus the usual 4% PBS audience, an increase of more than 300%. Did Tesh report the percent increase correctly? Solution. We began by finding the actual percent increase. Now, the percent increase we know by definition is the amount of increase over the original amount. So the amount of increase here, 13, minus the original amount, tells us the overall amount of increase here. That's 9. Over the original amount here was 4. So 9 over 4. That reduces to 2.25, which is 225%. The percent increase for PBS was 225%. This is not more than 300%. So Tesh did not report the increase correctly. So he reported it as an increase of more than 300%. He was incorrect in his math. This happens a lot, unfortunately. People just like to throw numbers out there and they don't actually do the math. It's very important to do the math because he was off by 75% here. And 75% is a lot to be off by. An awful lot to be off by. This concludes Chapter 8.1. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me by email. I'll be happy to answer or help you with any problems you may have. Y'all have a good afternoon.